Hi, this is Heidi from Garden Crossings, and I'm out in the butterfly house today. Today is the day that it's getting planted up with all the annuals. It is the end of March, and hopefully these will be showing color by the end of April when the butterfly house will be open to let people go through it. So let's take a look and see what the girls are doing today. So they had a whole list of plants that we wanted planted out in the butterfly house, and basically they've laid them all out, kind of come up with a design based off of the plants that we had talked about. So a lot of annuals are going in today, but we've also supplemented a few perennials that either didn't come back through the winter or where we just wanted to add some more perennial color for later on in the season. So what we'll do is we'll set all the pots out and then come through and they'll plant them. You'll also notice there's a lot of little white tea bag looking things in here. And if you've watched our video talking about biologicals, that's what all those little tea bags are, is they're beneficial insects that we are putting in the butterfly house this year to eat the predatory bugs that like thrip and spider mite and such that kind of damage the plants in here. So a lot of lantana going in, some salvia and verbena, just to name a few. We've got some cone flowers. You can also see the perennials that are starting to come up from last year. They're looking really nice and lush. So obviously outside the butterfly house, there's no color, nothing going on because it's probably only 20 out there today. But the benefits of the butterfly house is that it's protected so that things can get a head start and start flushing out sooner than what they do outdoors. Another thing we wanted to point out is you'll notice on some of these plants, there's little granulars, and that's part of the biological program as well. They sprinkle some of the plants with the biologicals to eat the bugs that are directly on the plants. So some of it goes into the soil or onto the bark. Others of it gets sprinkled on the plants, and then there's the little sachets that are throughout that kind of are like where the bugs are released from as well. So several different approaches to getting the beneficials here in the greenhouse. One thing I think we're going to want to look at later on in the summer is this little area here. This is a weeping cherry tree, but underneath of it we planted the new jazzberry supertunias along with, I think we did the Royal Cosmo lantana. So here you can kind of see the jazzberry just starting to bloom, but this is going to be a mass of that purple color as we get probably about another 4 to 6 weeks or so. I think we're going to have a lot of color going on under this tree. So we're going to pack it full of annuals because annuals are going to give us that initial bright splash of color, and then the perennials will cycle through as they come into their season out in the butterfly house. One thing last year we did also pack it full of annuals and did have to remove some of them as the season went along because it was just so dense, and that might be something that we need to do again this year. But for now, we want to get the annuals in because we know that's where we're going to get the most intense color right off the bat. Some of the plants in here that are showing color and maybe are worthy of talking about. First of all, here you see the yellow. This is the Spirea candy corn. That's got great new foliage on it. You can see that. Then it gets also really nice pink flowers in the summer as well. But this is a great foliage plant, so even when it's not blooming, you've got color in the garden. Behind it there, we've got some nice heuchera, and those two are giving us some color. I'm going to go in and take a closer look to see which ones these are. Maybe, oh, Mahogany Monster. So Mahogany Monster has kind of that coppery burgundy color to it, and you can see it's got the really nice flowers as well. So another plant that just gives interest before the flowers and stuff really start putting on a show in this area. Head across over here. So the nice thing too in the butterfly house is a lot of our annual Asclepias did overwinter, so they're having a nice jump start on things. So as soon as I bring the caterpillars in, which I'm hoping will be the end of April, they will have plenty of foliage to start munching on and start that whole circle of life. In the back corner here, we have a lilac that's starting to bloom. This is the Centera Double Blue. We'll go in and take a closer look at these flowers. I think the neat thing with this plant is that the flowers are kind of different colors depending on the stages they are in the bloom cycle. So here you can see it's pale lavender. This one here is maybe just a little bit more of that pink tone. And here's a bud that's just starting to open, and you can see that there's even more pink to that flower. So really nice large flowers, a great scent, and early color for out in the butterfly house too. So obviously we don't have customers going through yet, so this one might be a little bit premature for needing it to be blooming out here, but I think it's fun for at least us when we're going out here. It gives us something to look at and some flower color to talk about. We have buried here in the ground some pots, and they're on drippers too. And what that is that's for fennel and dill. So if we do decide to bring in some black swallowtails, that would be the host plant for the black swallowtails. And because those plants kind of cycle, this lets us just flip out the pot and change it when we need to put a fresh new plant into place. Also too, because they're in a pot, they're not getting the water from the dripper system. So by putting these little drippers into each pot, that makes sure that they're getting the water that they need. The Asclepias we mentioned earlier, those are the host plants for the monarch butterflies. And we have several different varieties in here. I think probably about 7 or 8 different varieties. So a lot of different color. Some are perennials, some are annuals. So the annuals give a lot more color. They bloom virtually all summer long, where the perennials cycle through with the flowers. But it's really not the flowers so much that the caterpillars need, and it's also the leaves are what they lay their eggs on. Here's one of our aquapots, and I think it's nice to see this just planted, because as the summer goes on too, we're going to find that this will turn into a giant pot. So it's nice to see what it starts as and then what it ends up as at the end of the summer. In this aquapot, there is some Lismachia, there is the berry blend lantana, the coral blaze royal pineapple brandy, and apple brandy coleus, along with a toucan scarlet canna. So that's going to look really cool once that grows. As we walk along, you can see just some of the other plants. The butterfly bushes here, they're pretty nice size, and I'm seeing buds on those, so those should be blooming by the time the caterpillars arrive. Along the back there, those are some nice hollyhocks, so they've really leafed out well. Some sedum there, the big mounds. Here's another annual Asclepias right here, really big specimen. And you can see on this there is spider mites. I don't know if you can see how those little granulars are kind of hanging in the wind there. So that's on cobwebbing. So this is exactly what we're trying to treat here out in this greenhouse, is getting rid of these spider mites so that we don't see this on the foliage. We've had the biologicals in here for, I think it's been 2 weeks now. So they should be starting to work on these plants. So hopefully we'll see results soon. I have one more aquapot that I passed earlier that I want to show you right here. In this one we have, it looks like a Pennisetum rubrum grass. There's salvia, probably rockin' blue suede shoes possibly, or either the purple. Some lemoncello petunias. Looks like there's also some lantana in there. So that will be really pretty to watch as that matures and grows as well. So just kind of an inside look into the butterfly house. I think it's fun to see the before, and then we'll be showing you after, obviously, as things start to mature. But this is what it looks like when we start the season off, and color will be here soon enough. This is Heidi from Garden Crossings.